hit piece. I'm going to prove to you guys by the end of this live stream why this is a poorly researched hit piece. Now, I was in the comments as Henry Resilient on my main channel. Had to let them know it's real. Now, I am aware that some people have made comments on here. Their comments have been deleted. I'm aware that this guy may not know everything that there is to know about Austin St. John and JDF's history, or maybe he do and he willfully omitted it to make for a better video. I don't know. I was really hoping he would come on, and I'm going to still shoot him the link when it's time to cut on. But as far as the email I sent him, he hasn't responded. So I don't think he's going to come on. So with that out the way, let's get into his video. Nope, no response. So let's get into his video and see what it's about. Hopefully you probably have already seen it. I know a lot of people have been watching it. They've been tagging me like, oh, go watch that shit. And I'm like, all right, man. All right, I'm gonna watch it.
The beef between Austin St. John and Jason David Frank is truly a big fascination in the fandom. But did they really hate each other?
No, we're fine, so long as we never, ever talk.
The answer to that question, the hate may have been one-sided, okay? But let's keep going.
This seems to continuously come up in the fandom, even after Jason David Frank's death in 2022. For some people, slandering Austin St. John seems to be their way of honoring JDF's death. And throughout 2024, Austin St. John definitely had a lot of controversies and issues, and all the supporters for Jason David Frank seem to really have gone at him hard and enjoyed trying to tear him apart.
Now, here's the thing, right? When he mentions controversies and issues, I mean, why not? Why not go into some of them? And the thing is, if you bring up someone's controversies, are you necessarily tearing them apart or just saying, hey, this happened in real life? I'm not lying. This happened. He said this. He did this. But when you are, when you're trying to paint a narrative, maybe you're not going to go into those controversies.
And all the supporters for Jason David Frank seem to really have gone at him hard and enjoyed trying to tear him apart. But I would like to pump the brakes and speculate a little more about the origins of this beef and maybe what sort of developed to make this occur. Austin St. John was cast as the...
Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt this a lot, guys. The origins of the beef. Hawkins is in the chat. Oh man, Hawkins, I got to talk to you, brother. You featured in the next interview. The origin of the beef, if you guys don't know, and this guy, he should know it started day one. You like, Henry, no, it didn't start day one. And I'm like, look, I know this stuff like the back of my hand. I've been covering it for so long. When I tell you it started day one, take me as telling the truth. And if you don't believe me, I'm telling the truth. Then here, let's play the clip. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
People, my fans want to see me fight him. They'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. That'd be the biggest fight. Like I'm at my karate school and just tons of people. He challenged a 36-year-old guy who's an Olympic kickboxer. I'm 36. So people are like, oh, you're mean. He's old. It's like, look, he's 49. He's the one that said he wants to fight. Herschel Walker's 47. And he got a strike force deal. So age is not the issue. If he wants to do it, let him do it. Thinking, cool, if he wants to fight.
Hold on. Because when I say the issue started from day one, people think out the gate right here. Let's go back right here. Where he calls a lot of people fake. Now JDF is snapping.
I just didn't want to be around them. So I'm like, I don't want to be here. I just want to leave. Because Hollywood's so fake and full of people. All you need is fake people. And that's why I'm saying he's fake. When I first started Power Rangers, honestly. Okay, that's his real name.
He said his name was Jason Lawrence Geiger. That's his real name. Now watch what happens. So the beef starts day one.
His name's not St. John. That's a stage name. So when I came, I was real nice. Hey, nice to meet you. And, and Jason Narby was on the show who played Skull. Yeah. And his name was, so his name was already on the door. Then it said Jason Narby on his door. Well, here comes Jason Frank. First time I met him, I went to shake his hand. He went in his room and slammed the door, then changed his sign to Austin St. John. And I was like, nice to meet you too.
Now, you see that? Hey, beef started day one. Hey, first time I met him, he wouldn't he shook my hand, went in the room, slammed the door, changed his name. So this guy he's going to play a clip of this. Why not put this in there? But let's hear his opinion. Let's hear his opinion. Because look, what frustrates me about this video is if I have a clip saying something, I'm going to play the clip. You know why? Because it gives me a boost in credibility. I'm not going to say, well, I think what's going on is this. I'm going to say, hey, the beef started because JDF was on the set. Austin St. John, whose name was Jason Lawrence Geiger, was like, damn, the third Jason, I'm going to change my name. I don't like this new guy. Let's keep it going. But let's keep it going.
Original Red Ranger in 1992 for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He had no acting experience and was very young.
I was young. I was a teenager with attitude. I was definitely typecast. With that came a little bit of immaturity, being 17, and I definitely was responsible for some. Well, I had a good time. I might have annoyed the hell out of some older, more mature people, like the director, the producer, director of photography, and maybe some of the more mature actors. Well, I mean, I was in high school when the show happened, so really, so I actually dropped out of high school, took the show, and we started filming. I walk on the.
Now it's interesting that he used this clip, which means he watched the whole video, but he never puts the clip of whatchamacallit, a Packer, man. You know, be cool, brother. Be cool.
I'm 18. I was not an actor. I was a martial artist, and I was a teenager with attitude, which is what they were casting for. So when I walked onto set, the only thing I knew was martial arts.
Austin was literally a teenager, a martial artist surrounded by actors, admitting that Walter had to show him literally where to stand and how to face the camera during scenes. If you've ever been in a situation where you're the outcast, it's really easy to overcompensate and try to prove that you're good at something else so that you don't look so stupid or bad to the people around you. Being next to Amy Jo Johnson had to be very intimidating, considering she studied at 2 different schools for acting before being on Power Rangers.
Now, here is where he inserts his opinion. He says being around Amy Jo Johnson had to be intimidating. So now he is inferring that Austin St. John was intimidated by working with Amy Jo Johnson because of where she came from. Now, what's better would be if Austin St. John said he was intimidated. Now, no way in hell is Austin St. John going to admit or even say he was intimidated working with anyone. So this is where I'm already like, bro, come on. All right. But, you know, hey, this is his opinion, right? Let's keep going.
And I'm sure it was very difficult for Amy as well. I mean, think about it. She has gone through college studying acting. Now she has this high school dropout who's a teenager, a little, you know, in her eyes, probably a little kid, and he doesn't even know what blocking is. As can be imagined, they are filming a month with the original 5 cast members. Austin St. John is not a great actor, but he's the martial arts guy on a show heavily focused on martial arts. So he at least has that going for him. And so he's telling these big flamboyant stories, exaggerating things, you know, and these are the type of things that Jason David Frank has brought up many, many times in the interviews over the years. But for Austin St. John, this is where he's comfortable. This is where his confidence is.
Whoa. How do you know this is where Austin St. John is comfortable? How do you know this is where his confidence is? I'm just like, it's very great, right? It's very great. And, you know, JDF was there from the beginning, but, you know, because he taught Twee. So when they're filming, guess what? Guess who's there? JDF. But, you know, this guy didn't research that. He didn't research it. I don't think he watched the Coliseum interviews.
And they don't know the difference. So he can kind of be a little outlandish with his stories. And it works because everybody has their role. You know, you have the Valley Girl, you have the nerd, the dancer, the female martial artist, and the male martial artist. Then we bring in the newest actor who fills the role that we all were hoping we would get, which was the male martial artist.
It's not the same. It is the same.
So now there's 2 of them. And testosterone levels alone, who's the better martial artist, I'm sure was a discussion all the time, and probably from cast members and crew members, who's better, who knows more. JDF was new to acting, but he had done modeling in the 80s a little bit when he was 12 years old for this company called Olive Pit Productions. So Jason David Frank maybe had a little more confidence being in front of a camera.
Look, how do you know if JDF had more confidence or not, man? It's like, this is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about it, man. Hey, look, man. It is what it is. And shout out to my man, Matt Fisher, who says, this, I don't know what that means, dude. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying, look, how do you say, hey, JDF had more confidence? How? Based on what? Your opinion? Look, source. Trust me, bro.
Than Austin St. John did. If that is true, it would have probably made Austin St. John feel even more vulnerable than he was before. And
What? Austin St. John feeling vulnerable on set? Are you serious? Oh my God. Where's the source, my guy?
On the flip side, Jason David Frank probably felt a little bit out of place at first, being on set with a group of people.
Jason David Frank is feeling out of place now. Oh my God, man. Like you guys got to be like, okay, where's the source, bro?
Who already had been together for a month, and now he's probably a bit intimidated and trying to fit in and figure out how things go. I know there's been stories about him trying to learn how to do theatrical martial arts versus just his normal martial arts, and that was something that took him a little bit of time to figure out. And when you listen to interviews with Jason David Frank, he brings up calling Austin St. John out on his exaggerated stories right there on set in front of people.
Exactly, guys. Exactly. There was the story where he said he beat 3 people up on the way to set, and the cops recognized him and asked him for autographs, and the show wasn't even out yet. He's like, oh, but we knew we were filming.
18 hours a day with the guy who tells me he breaks center blocks straight through, and he's killed a guy in a ring before, and he's so dangerous in the ring, and I'm a martial artist, and being a martial artist, you're not supposed to talk like that, so he'd get me riled up, so my blood would boil every time.
I do a lot of brick breaking, so I was talking to these guys about breaking bricks. I'm like really excited about this, and he's like,
now, here's the thing, right? If you say you're a martial artist and I'm a martial artist and I know you're breaking code, you ever heard of stolen valor? I know my military ninjas in the chat know about stolen valor, where people perpetuate like they were in the service and they wasn't. So what JDF is getting riled up about is Austin St. John perpetuating that he's a martial artist and there's no concrete proof of it. In fact, he would have conversations with ASJ. And basically, you test him, right? You're like, how would you test him? How would you test him if he was a martial artist? Here we go. I'm about to play it. Right here. Here's the clip.
Oh, I just know that when you're a black belt and you're calling degrees, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a first degree black belt, I'm a second degree black belt. And if you're really educated into the martial arts, then you'll know that's what you say. So when I first met Austin, he's like, I'm a 2-stripe black belt. And I just kind of, all his credentials went out the window for me. You just don't say stuff. If you're a real black belt like that, you just don't say. But anyway, needless to know.
You see like, hey, bro, what is a 2-stripe black belt? What is that?
I just know.
Now, I think I know because my daughter with the whole Taekwondo stuff, you know, after like a week or something, or after 3 classes, she gets a stripe on her white belt. And then after another week, she gets a stripe. And then after she gets 3 stripes, she gets promoted to yellow belt, you know, things like that. So 2-stripe black belt, maybe he was just trying to use the lingo.
That when you're a black belt and you're calling degrees, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a first degree black belt, I'm a second degree black belt. And if you're really educated into the martial arts, then you'll know that's what you say. So when I first met Austin, he's like, I'm a 2-stripe black belt. And I just kind of, all his credentials went out the window for me. You just don't say stuff. If you're a real black belt like that, you just don't say. But anyway.
And you know, the answer 06 is how you tie your belt. Yeah, how you tie your belt is important. I mean, I learned it just from my daughter, guys. I'm not no martial artist. I never proclaimed to be. I don't know that ish. But let's keep going to the cinder block video.
Like, yeah, I'd break 2 or 3 center blocks like this, and there's an impossible way. So I'm like, okay, I just let it go. Ian, who was one of my stunt doubles, Ian was the Green Ranger. If you ever get a hold of Ian, he'll tell you how Austin was. He called him out on it. He said, hey, I got 2 bricks right now. Here, break them like that. And he's like, oh, no. You know, just always, I guess, when you're telling a story, he's always the one to butt in to top your story. And it was just like so annoying. Everyone from the set, you know what, maybe never had enough cojones to tell him how I feel. Because everyone complained to me about Austin. Oh, he's this, he's that. But when he was there, oh, no one said nothing.
A lot of people in the fandom, I think, immediately jumped to, well, Austin St. John deserved it. He wasn't telling the truth, so screw him. Like, good for him for calling him out. But the details of the story, for me personally, they do hit a little differently. When I was in high school.
Now, look, I know he's about to tell a story, right? And I want to preface this with, look, there is a difference between someone calling someone out for lying and a difference between someone calling someone out for making grammatical errors. It's 2 different things. Grammar, hey, you don't know. Lying is intentional.
Around the same age as these guys were, there was a close friend of mine. And one day, our senior year, a switch just flipped on him for some reason. Every single time I talked at lunch or we were all out doing something, he would bring up any grammar mistake I made. He would say, oh, you misused that word, or you mispronounced this word, or you didn't do this right, or you didn't say this right. Everything I said, he tried to make me look like an idiot in front of people. Didn't understand what it was coming from. I even confronted him about it privately and said, you know, what did I say something to upset you? Did I offend you? And he just denied.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying anything bad about you. What are you talking about?
Even though I had everybody in this friend group saying like, oh man, he was saying the meanest stuff about you the other day. That experience was horrific. So when I hear interviews of Jason David Frank saying like, yeah, I called him out, and everybody's like cheering that, yeah, good for you for pointing out all the things he said that weren't true. I don't applaud it because I know what it's like to have someone like really coming after you.
Look, bro, like I said, coming after you for grammar, sure, that's petty. But coming after someone for lying, that's a completely different story. Now you can say, well, he's trying to tear him down. So if I come out here, guys, and I lie, I say a bald-faced lie. Okay, I'm lying. I say my neighbor's house was on fire in the middle of the night. I ran in, saved her husband, saved her 2 cats, saved her 1 dog, and then I put the fire out. Okay, you're gonna be like, Henry, come on, man. You did all that? Yeah, man, I did that. Who are you to tell me I not? Was you there? You there? They're gonna be like, hey, ain't the fire station, like if someone know where I live, they're gonna be like, ain't the fire station like a block or 2 away from your house? Yeah, they had a slow response time that night. You know what I'm saying? So it was me. Now, you would be well within your right to call BS on my story because it's so outlandish. I wouldn't say, hey, you're bullying me. You're trying to tear me down. You're like, bro, that story is way too unbelievable. And Austin St. John has told some whoppers in his time. And we're going to cover the whoppers that he's told that people have called him out on. So, you know, that's just what it is. And shout out to Cayenne Pepper, who says he keeps bringing up ASJ age as an excuse for being a habitual liar. They were all young. JDF wasn't a decade older than Geiger. Now, here's the thing about the age. I'm happy you brought up the whole he was young. He told these stories when he got back. He's told these stories when he got back. So look, here's the thing. You're like, okay, all right, let's give him a pass when he was 18. But Ninja, don't come back when you're 28, 30 and start lying and lying more to, you know, tell these crazy stories. We'll get to him. We'll get to the beat up the 3 brown guys and they tried to sue him. Like, anyway, shout out to Blake, who says we need to get JDF stunt double interview. Here's the thing. When I reached out to Haim, he wanted $75 for interview. But Haim also does Ranger Stop. So with him doing Ranger Stop, he probably ain't gonna give you the juice like you want. I watched the interview. It was mostly fluff, no juice. So I don't think he's gonna dish dirt on ASJ because he still wants to come to cons. You see how it works? That's how fickle this Power Ranger industry is, because if you keep it real with somebody, they're going to be like, all right, we can't have this guy around.
Especially when it's someone who came onto the show late and now is embarrassing you in front of everybody. But the general environment they were in didn't help the chemistry either. This was new. I mean, they did not have other seasons of Power Rangers to watch and know what was going on. So, you know, JDF would bring up stuff like, oh, Austin St. John would get upset when Tommy would say it's morphin' time. He'd go, that's my line. Like, he's not allowed to say that. He's probably scared of being replaced, thinking, well, they're going to just kick me off the show and replace him and make him the Red Ranger.
Nah, he wanted to be the leader. And this is my opinion, right? But you should, like, these are questions you should ask it. Hey, did you get upset when JDF would say it's morphin' time? That's a great question to ask at a con. Trying to get you upset. That's a great question. But he won't acknowledge that because he won't even really acknowledge JDF anymore at all.
What's going on? He doesn't know that the Sixth Ranger thing is going to like continue through the years. So even if it seems petty to some people, I think you got to at least try to understand where his head was at. And there's lots of comments over the years about they should.
Shout out to the Answer 06 who says, I'll sponsor that interview at $200. Make it happen. Here's the thing, Answer 06. Austin St. John will never interview with me. And I imagine whoever he interviews, they have questions that they can't ask about. They can't ask about peace stuff. They can't ask about Hitler shirts. They can't ask about him making fun of a gay person. They can't ask about his plea deal. There are things that Austin St. John don't want people talking about. And if you try to bring this up while he's interviewing live, they will ban you. I remember I did. I was like, hey, he's on some radio station. Hey, ask him about pleading guilty to wire fraud. It was like, ban him, ban him, ban him, ban him. And I got banned.
Should have been grateful for what they had. But when you think about it, most shows are doing 20 to 24 episodes in a year. Even the show Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills, that whole thing, they did 40 in a season. But season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers did 60 episodes. That is insane. Plus doing countless PSAs and commercials. A lot of times they're making up their own choreography for fight scenes. They did their own stunts. Amy Jo Johnson has even said that she didn't really feel very comfortable. They were in a safe environment when they had to do a lot of their own stunts. And then
that's true. She did say that, man. And, you know, Answer 06, as much as I would love to interview the stunt double, I'm telling you, he's not going to give up any juice. So I wouldn't want you to waste your money, man. I wouldn't. And he only wanted $75 for a 30-minute interview.
Add on to it that there was merchandise being sold with their faces on it that they were receiving nothing for. Fast forward to the contract negotiations. This is famously when Austin, Walter, and Twee left the show. This is a very complicated subject. They have their very strong opinion, even though they don't really seem to understand what was really going on, because it really is a he said, she said situation. We really can't prove a lot of this stuff, but Austin and Walter state that all 6 of them were going to, make a stand together. Jason David Frank and others claim that they were never going to do that. And all I can say is that it's quite possible that they thought they were with them on this, and the whole time they were like, we're not going to do this, but they just nodded their heads like, okay, whatever, man. And then when it came time, they're like, yeah, we didn't want to do it.
All right, we're going to touch on that instantly after the show because it actually gets debunked, and I want to make it its own clip about it.
When it comes down to it, I think that Austin St. John and Walter both felt very betrayed. I don't think that is outlandish to say. I don't think that makes them bad people or the people who stayed bad people. But, that disdain, I think, added a lot of fuel to the fire. Now, envision this, though. Jason David Frank came out victorious. Jason David Frank was the leader and the new face of Power Rangers. He was in a big blockbuster movie.
We got the guy. He said, can you send me the link? You got to let me cook for a little bit.
In the end, the second male martial artist won. The show was his now. And it proved that everybody was replaceable in Saban's eyes. Austin St. John and Walter have stated that they wish they had stayed on to do the movie. Some people stated that if they had done the movie, they could have fought for a better pay after that. They should have established themselves. That to me is a little bit of a misled thought, because Steve Cardenas, going into Turbo, came in and said, hey, listen, we've done all these things. We've done this movie. We've done all of this. It's time for you to pay everybody equally. And what he meant by that is that everybody should get paid the same as JDF, at least for this last season. They fired him anyway, even though he established himself like
I believe they fired everyone. I don't think this guy watched the Coliseum interview. Everyone got fired when JDF quit.
Everybody said the others should have done. So now even Kimberly leaves the show. Billy gets pushed aside not to be a Ranger anymore. Tommy has his own team. This is his team now. All his. He's the new Red Ranger. But the catch is that the show isn't doing very well. The ratings are going down. So what's Jason David Frank's worst nightmare? That replaceable actor, Austin St. John.
That's JDF's worst nightmare. Hey, there's an interview at Austin where he called JDF Franken douche, but he said he had dirt on people that would damage careers before JDF's death. Weird flex. Yeah, we're going to play the Franken douche clip. That was the Coliseum interview. Look, guys, I've covered this ASJ JDF beef for a year and a half. I practically know. I'm not going to say everything, but I'll say most things.
Well, he gets asked to come back as the Sixth Ranger, and now he's going to have to sit there and listen to this lying piece of trash on the lot, talking in between takes and telling stupid stories.
In fact, why do they even have to make him a Golden Ranger? I was like, I don't want to work on that series.
Something that's actually quite different about him this time around.
Let's talk about it behind his back.
Behind his back, so we can't hear.
Now, here's the interesting thing. He clips this interview, but he doesn't clip where he says JDF stabbed him in the back.
No, we can't. I just loved him. I had, a little crush on him. I had a little crush on him.
Very handsome.
He didn't know that, but now he does. So nice, so sweet, so down to earth, still is down to earth.
And a gentleman.
Yeah.
He's a true gentleman.
Yeah.
Some of our cast members
not so much
did some things in front of us that we might not want to see, like farting and things. Austin never did stuff like that.
So JDF was a prankster. Austin was not.
They just felt very comfortable with
like brothers.
Yeah.
But Austin was always very chivalrous, I would say. No farting in front of us or anything.
Austin seems to have matured, and the whole cast is starting to meet him for the first time who didn't work with him before.
ASJ, man.
And they seem to be liking him quite a lot. I only ever hear JDF's stories about Austin being with David and Amy and the original people who are on the show. So I have zero idea, what was really going on at this time. Could JDF have been a little jealous of this more mature Austin St. John? I have no idea, but I don't think their beef was just gone at this point. At this point, JDF is burnt out. I mean, you can tell in the episodes he's gone a lot.
What? Oh my God.
In them, or episodes like King for a Day 1 and 2. And Tommy's basically in a suit the whole time and he's just doing voiceovers. They kind of did the same thing in Dino Thunder when he was stuck in the suit and then became invisible. But a lot of these episodes actually just kind of throw Austin St. John in as the leader, for those episodes. Turbo starts. Austin St. John is done. They had a clear-cut deal with Saban. Just some episodes, the movie appearance, set him up.
This is actually true.
Money. Thank you.
Goodbyes are always so sad.
Saban gives JDF a push to do a few more episodes in Turbo, and you can tell again at this point that he really is like done. He doesn't want to do this anymore. I talk about that in my video about my Turbo review. There's a lot of details in that I think you kind of will see. But
I think this guy's favorite Ranger may be Austin St. John. But he's emailed me, so he's like, I'm asking him for 30 minutes to see if he can wait, and then we'll have a dialogue.
Now the two have departed. JDF returns to his life as a karate school, guy. And who would imagine that after all these years that we'd still be talking about Power Rangers, and Comic-Cons are becoming bigger and bigger over the years. Actors can't believe anyone wants to meet them in person, and JDF starts getting asked to attend some of these. At this time, Jason David Frank is starting his MMA career. He is ready to fight anyone, but he gets an idea, and his Power Rangers apparently still has a fandom, and I want to fight. Who would I like to fight or beat the crap out of? That arrogant Austin St. John, who was a lying piece of trash.
Look, guys, it makes sense. Well, if you watch the video of the Challenging My Manhood video,
Challenging my manhood?
it was $50,000 for the fight. 25 for ASJ, 25 for JDF to fight.
And hoodwinked the Zeocast to think that he was a great guy. JDF puts out an invitation saying, Austin St. John, let's have a fight. Let's do it. We can speculate, was this a revenge thing? Was he just wanting to do this for the fans really? Or was he wanting to put Austin St. John in his place? Austin St. John doesn't respond. And JDF starts to publicly call him out on panels and in interviews.
Mixed martial arts. So it has nothing to do with me challenging him. If you're doing mixed martial arts, then step up to the plate, because I feel that we both have everything. He's a Ranger, I'm a Ranger. Win or lose, it don't matter. I'm going to win. But the point is, I'm just saying, we can make some money. It's good for the fans. And if he really is a mixed martial arts guy, then just do it. I mean, quit running around. He just needs to do it because it's out on YouTube. And he had a big ego. And he's going to see this now. And I don't know how he's going to live with himself forever.
Now look at Karen Ashley. She like, what the hell? Because I think at the time she may be rep by Zach Taylor McGinnis. I think they both are at the time. I'm not for sure.
He just steps into the ring and just takes
the challenge still stand for you to
Austin St. John?
Yeah,
man. Let's get this stuff going. Anybody knows Austin St. John, he's a liar, he's a compulsive liar. He lies about everything. And I don't care what he lies about. Just don't lie about my livelihood. I'm a martial artist. I've been in martial arts my whole entire life since I was 4. So when you start lying about martial
All right, guys. Mighty Morphin Conspiracy Theories has confirmed he'll come up in 30 minutes.
I take it personal. I take that personal. Martial art people are not supposed to be cocky and arrogant. And hey, I could beat this person up.
It don't matter. I'm going to win. But the point is,
one particular interview, they bring up twice in the interview that they were very uncomfortable with the way he was bashing Austin St. John throughout the panel.
On Real Talk, I remember, I forgot what panel it was. I think when you first.
So we got another ASJ. Oh, joy. I don't know. We'll get to talk to him in 30 minutes.
Mentioned the Austin thing. And a lot of people were taken aback because you were saying, all the stuff that you're telling me now, you were saying so much stuff about Austin. And they were like, oh, wow, that sounds kind of mean. That sounds kind of.
Yeah, I know. People, I know. And you don't hear the other side of it.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it was like, oh, wow, he said a lot of stuff. And then there's another panel. Oh, he said a lot of stuff. And so a lot of people were like, Jason, he looks so arrogant and he looks this.
Yeah. But here's my defense to that. Okay.
JDF just kind of says, oh, well, I'm not fake. I'm not going to say something or lie about it. Now, where is Austin St. John? Why isn't he coming, forward or responding to this? Even during this interview, JDF refers to Austin having this military contract. So Austin is out saving lives, serving his country.
Bruh, I hate when they say saving lives. I'd be like, bro, God, if I'm a doctor or if I'm like an EMT, am I saving lives? Maybe. I don't know, man. It just seems like it's just so it's grandiose.
And Jason David Frank is saying this.
If he was a fighter, he'd be in shape. He's so out of shape right now. And that's just, I refuse to be like that.
I don't know the exact dates of when Austin was overseas being an EMT and saving lives, but I know he turned down the legendary battle in 2012 because he would have been breaking contract if he had to go film that. He was busy, doing his military work. All
right, military work. I know someone wanted me to bring this to attention. Military work, you can get into semantics real quick, okay? Let's just say I was an EMT and says like, oh, where were you for the last 4 years? Oh, I was an EMT in Afghanistan. Okay. You like, oh, wow. Now that's true. That's a true statement. I was an EMT in Afghanistan. But what does that imply? What does that imply? That the uninitiated may think, hey, I was in the military. They may be like, oh, you were in the military. And then you have to say, well, I was working with the military. I was contracted as an EMT. So military work, you can say technically, I know my service people, they get really passionate about making sure people are aware of people who actually served and people who actually did not. So because you're a contractor for the United States government, doesn't, if you want to call it military work, that may piss some people off because military work is, I guess, a higher regard. I'm not going to act like I know, but, just something to think about.
Among other reasons why he said he didn't want to do it. Did anybody else learn in school that if the teacher turns around and sees someone hitting somebody, that kid gets in trouble? Whether or not the kid says, well, that kid hit me first. It's like, well, I didn't see that.
This is true. I agree with him on this because there's this beef that comes up, and I'm going to show you the timeline, and maybe I'll show him in real time because I have all my clips loaded. Austin St. John would do something, and then JDF will react on the panel. So now you're like, oh, well, JDF must be getting attacked, or JDF must be attacking Austin St. John. Well, no, you may not know that, hey, there was some stuff said in the green room. And this is why JDF start recording people, because little slick stuff will happen at cons, and then it'll get out, and then they'll probably make JDF to seem like the bad guy. So, you gotta whatchamacallit.
Kid, I saw you and you're the one getting the detention, so don't do it. You really can't retaliate bigger than what the actual consequence should be. And I feel like we're starting to move into that area where JDF is getting a little too brash. He's being a little offensive, and it's starting to move to a point where people are starting to get uncomfortable. Like, why are you being so nasty? But JDF feels very justified in the things he's saying because of the way Austin St. John was in the first season. Now, when you see old videos of Austin St. John being asked about this potential fight.
Now, here's the thing, guys. If you've been following my channel for a while, this is the same interview where he said he was a professional kickboxer in Thailand at their esteemed stadium.
Jason David Frank. I think we like each other too much to do that. He still does a lot of live competition. We kind of, I don't know if he ever went heavyweight or anything like that, but he still does lots of stuff. He's a very talented martial artist in his own right, and he's very good at what he does. And like I said, I think we like each other too much to.
Now he's being smug, but Austin also saved a cute little blonde by jumping through a glass door and rescuing her from at least 5 ninjas with weapons and tire irons, right? Oh my God. We're going to listen to that story later on. That story is outlandish. It's crazy. And he didn't say that story when he was 18. He didn't say that when he was young. He repeated it when he got older. So if the story was false when he was 18, would you repeat it? And he was like, hey, they were trying to sue me because I was white. Wouldn't they get arrested for trying to kidnap her?
Are you sure to do that? I'm pretty sure.
There's some people who try to say, oh, he's being a little bit of a jerk there. Honestly, I think he showed a lot of class. JDF at this point is really the Comic-Con pioneer.
I love when he said he showed a lot of class, because we're going to show him at a lot of classless moments.
And he had been doing this since 2009, at least. That's when I see record of him being at them. And he was the leader. He's giving business advice, telling people to join Cameo. When Cameo comes out, I know he told people to do that. Around 2014, Austin St. John starts making some appearances, and fans are really excited. And some of these younger actors are really excited too.
Different of the Power Rangers are.
It's so interesting that he clipped this, but he doesn't clip the Hitler stuff.
Or at the shows, they still think you're the boss. That's kind of cool. That's
to be in charge of something.
Yeah, you got to be. Well, I think you picked a good one.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks Winnie the Pooh's the boss of Squall. They go, yeah, it's good.
Once again, Austin St. John is back in the area, and he's charming people, just like he always does. I speculate that maybe this frustrated him a little bit. Before his death, even Jason David Frank realized that this whole beef needed to be dealt with. In 2017, there was a man cosplaying as the Punisher who wanted to kill JDF, and luckily the cops got to him. No one got hurt. I thought for sure there was an interview where he said something along the lines of this person was talking about his beef with Austin St. John, the guy who's dressed up as the Punisher. I can't find it, but even if I just make that up, you can definitely see a conscious decision of him trying to sort of back off of this beef.
We'll find out more about the case. I just think that it's definitely a different thing. And when I find out and they find out, it's keep Power Rangers happy is all I can say. We're all friends. Yep. There's no beef with nobody. Tommy's just a character.
I think he realized that this was starting to get unhealthy, and maybe he needed to sort of back off of it, even if he really did still dislike the guy a lot. And a last little tidbit is that even when he started doing Legend of the White Dragon, Johnny Young Bosch said we should bring in Austin to be the villain, which really shows you that Johnny seems to like Austin quite a bit, enough to say we should bring him in for this movie. Even though Jason David Frank didn't want to do that, he brought in Aaron from Bat in the Sun.
This is true. Johnny Young Bosch was all about bringing Austin in this, but JDF said no.
JDF left behind a pretty complicated life. Tammy and him, his wife, were going through the divorce process, and they were apparently trying to make it work at the end there. His children from his first...
Now, where did he figure out that they were trying to make it work at the end there? That's a question I got to ask him when he comes up. When he comes up, Henry, show no mercy. JDF for life. Now, look, man, we got some questions. I already got a slew of questions. He knows he has to defend the liar and slander. Now, if he come up here talking that Aaron stuff, then y'all know it was, we'll see. I've never met this guy. I don't know him from a can of paint.
There was a lot of drama between them and Tammy and Jason's daughter. It was very messy. It was sad to see, and it was bringing a lot of things to the public that really didn't need to be seen. It's their own family business. And if you go and listen to JDF's poetry, the fact of his death and the way it happened is really, really eerie.
Fortunately, he couldn't make it. His name was
Jason also left behind.
Hopefully, I said just enough so it doesn't get me demonetized, because I want this stream monetized, guys.
His project, Legend of the White Dragon, unfinished. JDF was not perfect, but he inspired countless people. Legendary superhero on international television. People all around the world were inspired by him. Martial arts students that he taught himself, communities that benefited from the schools that he started, not being afraid to talk about his faith with God, talking about mental health. Even during COVID, he did the Power Ranger Protection Program to try to benefit comic book stores.
Now, this is so interesting. He did the Power Ranger Protection Program for comic book stores while someone else was committing beef fraud.
All around the country, encouraging people to believe in themselves. JDF was not an evil villain. And when he passed away, Austin St. John came out with a video about it.
Hey, everybody.
This is obligatory. You had to do it. Literally every Power Ranger actor, stunt person involved did a video.
Man, where to start? There's no secret that Jason Frank and I were not beer drinking buddies, for sure. But yesterday, Jason Frank he's gone. Important than that, a man died, a father died, a husband died. There's no easy way to feel those emotions. I lost my father in January, so I have some semblance of understanding for what his family must be going through right now. I'm not going to go on and on. I just I hope he rests in peace, and my prayers and my thoughts go out to his family. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger, brother.
Yeah. Now look, he would say that, right? You like, well, Henry, he clearly wanted to bury the hatchet and let bygones be bygones. But you guys remember this clip? You remember this clip? Hey, you remember it? Come on, man. You got to remember this clip.
You guys were insane. Some of the best in the world. And so it was a great learning environment for fights.
And how's the relationship on with all you guys? All six of you guys?
It was pretty tight.
How you guys got along? And
most of us were family. I mean, there's always one that's a jerk. But
now, one that's a jerk. ASJ defenders like, well, he didn't say it. He didn't say JDF. Like, bro, come on. Now he did that literally, and then like 2 weeks later, he took a picture with Jenna and Tammy. But very classy guy right here.
Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. Much love.
Now, he wasn't sugarcoating it. He was completely honest, but he was respectful. And over time, fans would see him taking a picture with Tammy Frank.
You met Austin St. John.
Yeah.
What was that like?
No. Hey, this is good propaganda, man. This is good. This is great propaganda. Where was her picture at Power Morphicon? I saw Sky with him.
Hey, I love Austin. It's funny though, because my dad and him, so like I'm like my daddy's girl, you know what I'm saying? So whatever he wants, you know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, right? So my mom,
whatever my daddy wants is what I'm with. So when he was alive, he was. Now that he going and now that we doing cons, we like, we gotta ease up on you.
Actually went up to him first and I was like, no, I was like turning my back, like, I'm not gonna go. And then my mom was like, dude, drop the ego. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went over to talk to him and it was healing, dude. He's actually pretty cool. So
yeah, he's really nice.
I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. Okay. Where the fan word post been at on? Oh, anyway.
But now it's like resolved.
Austin really didn't take this opportunity to get the last word or say something super horrible about him. I know there's one interview out there. They're asking him about the whole leaving the show thing. And he does refer to him as the Franken-douche for a split second. I have never heard him say anything like that again. Maybe he...
This is why I said this video, right? This title right here is a poorly researched hit piece. I stand by it because look, I have it all. I got it all, guys. This is right here. This is year 2022. What is this? Hey, we got stabbed in the back by JDF.
I think
part is, and what was the last episode you filmed at what point in season 2? Do you remember your last episode?
It's really hard because at that point we were filming 2 to 3 episodes in a week. And I mean, you guys know it was all broken up. You know, there's Command Center Day where 2 or 3 episodes of Command Center are shot in a day or two with different wardrobe changes. I really had no idea. It would have been, they knew I was leaving. They knew they had already divided the team because Jason Frank had stabbed us in the back, and I converted.
He converted
David Yost and Amy Jo, talked them into staying.
Nah, he didn't. Nah, he didn't.
So now the team was divided, and they had already promised him.
I know you like Henry. I wasn't there. Well, I got someone who else there, and we're going to show it later. But let's get back through the video. He's never said anything like that after. That was 2022, where he said he got stabbed in the back. And that was 2023 where he called him a jerk. And look, and don't even get me started. Don't even get me started, guys. Where is it at? Where is it at? I know I have it up here. And don't even get me started on what his agent said, that somehow it just didn't make it in this video. It didn't make it in it. You know, his booking agent said, you know, he's happy JDF is dead. Oh, but we're keeping it going. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. All right. Let's keep it going, guys. Let's keep it going.
He has, but honestly, I think he tries to keep that very much to himself, and he tries to be very respectful. And I wish that the beef was just over. The people keeping the beef going are not his family. It's actually Jason David Frank's former assistant. When it comes to,
here we go. Hey, Francis is keeping the beef going. Let's play this in real time. I know Francis is in the chat. Damn, my man recording 4K. All right, kudos to you. Let's go.
Francis, JDF's assistant, don't think she views it as being dishonest or misleading. She has shared stories about him and worded things in a way that make Austin St. John look really bad and other actors. But I see comments in these videos of her and like HenryResilient. People
say my goddamn name. God damn it. What? Say my name. Look, guys, where's my name is my name? Jesus. It's been so long since I used that goddamn soundbite. And of course, I can't find it. But anyway, but he's saying the comment section. See, this is that Aaron logic. Hey, when I've been looking at the comment section, it's a lot of people saying different things. Well, who cares what the comment section is saying? You should go off what I'm saying or what Francis is saying, not the comment section.
Show thing. And he does refer to him as the Franken douche for a split second. I have never heard him say anything like that again. Maybe he has, but honestly, I think he tries to keep that very much to himself, and he tries to be very respectful. And I wish that the beef was just over. The people keeping the beef going are not his family. It's actually Jason David Frank's former assistant. When it comes to Francis, JDF's assistant, don't think she views it as being dishonest or misleading. She has shared stories about him and worded things in a way that make Austin St. John look really bad and other actors. But I see comments in these videos of her and like HenryResilient. People are getting really fired up and they're getting really rude and nasty about Austin St. John and other actors. And there's a very one-sided nature to these stories. Around 2014, 2015.
All right, now he's about to quote Francis' story. Remember when Austin said to me, Jason, who I know, right? He know. I know, Laura. I know.
According to Francis,
there was a time, this was when ASJ first came back on scene, and Jason approached all the Rangers and said, let's do a free event. Let's make it amazing. Let's make it big. It would be amazing if we do a free event, right?
Now, this is me. I'm just enamored that she just giving up the juice like that. When somebody giving up the juice, you let them. You let them 100%. Just like, you just let them cook. Like, oh, okay.
Let him cook. Obviously, Tui is gone. So who else would it be?
Karen Ashley?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I understand that a lot of people were upset with him because he said he wanted a free event.
And that word free is very, very exciting to people. It sounds very generous. It sounds very altruistic. He's looking out for the fans. Look, guys, what an amazing thing he's doing. He's putting on a free event. Let's remember that actors have expenses, transportation to get there, hotel rooms, food, some of them have to deal with childcare, figuring out schedules with their spouses. So to say, oh, they're so greedy for expecting to get paid for their time, it's very misleading, especially to people who really don't understand the situation. At this time, 2014, 2015, Jason David Frank has already been doing conventions for, half a decade. He's making some money off of it, and people like Austin St. John just started. All I'm trying to say is they're not in the same position. To say, hey, he should just do this because he said to do it is really not as simple as people think it is.
Now look, guys, I disagree with a lot of things this guy is saying, but Yeah, and this came up in the Walter Jones versus JDF. If you guys don't remember, from the Challenge of My Manhood.
Challenging my manhood?
JDF was schooling Walter. He's like, look, man, if you want to get to these cons, you have to bet on yourself. Stop charging these silly ass guarantees. Pay for your own flight, pay for your own hotel, and just show up. And then Walter was like, well, I got kids. I'm not as wealthy as you. Every excuse in the world. Then he was like, well, this is why you're not going to get booked for WizardCon. This is why when, Motor City Con happens in the city you grew up in, your ass ain't invited. Shit like that. So bet on yourself, guys, all the time. Bet on yourself all the time. And shout out to the Arrow stream who says, say his name and he appears. I believe in him. Look, guys, everyone knows when you say my name, it's like sending out the bat. It's like saying Candyman 3 times in the mirror. And you looking like, oh shit, he coming. Most of the time, when people say my name in a video, people alert me like, yo, he cut a video on you. I'm like, what? He cut a video on me? Like, yeah, man. He said you lying and slandering ASJ. I'm like, bro, I've been covering ASJ for so long. And just with my background, I would never lie or slander anybody. Shit, I'm spitting on the mic and shit. I would never slander or lie on anyone. I play ASJ clips. I show ASJ court docs. That's what I do. That's what this channel is built off of. Playing what people say, playing what people do. I don't make up things like, oh, ASJ must have been intimidated working with Amy Jo Johnson. I don't pull shit like that out of my ass. Sorry, I got to stop the cursing. We want to keep it mind's eyes. But salute to you, Arrow Stream. I appreciate the donation. And shout out to my guy, Dominic R, who says, guy says opinions are one-sided. Starts giving one-sided opinions with no factual context. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's a truthful statement.
Conspiracy's name is accurate. Oh yeah, his name is Conspiracy Theory. All right. Let's get back because we got to bring him up soon.
Don't forget that Austin has been listening to Jason David Frank talk trash about him at least since 2012.
I'll be honest with you, I just don't like people who are full BS, and Austin's nothing but full BS.
All you need is fake people, and that's why I'm saying Austin's fake. So, I guess I would too. If I was him, I would hate myself too.
Why did he cut out the part where he said, I went to go shake his hand? You see where I'm talking about? Like when you making these clips and you doing a pro ASJ piece, you're not going to put the Hitler quotes in there. He brings up Hitler quotes, but he doesn't play the clip of ASJ saying he wants to make Hitler quotes on shirts.
Why would he even listen to Jason David Frank at this point? Easy to say. He should understand the payoff and the business aspect of it. He doesn't have to, and he doesn't have to listen to Jason David Frank. Now, here's the part of the story I really think they leave out on purpose. Again, free event, but what was Jason David Frank doing at
this guy left a lot of stuff out on purpose because we know the clip where it came from. We watched it, and we know after that whole, when I met him, he was fake. He goes into the story about not shaking my hand or shaking my hand and changing his name. So this is how you're like, hey man, why didn't you put in the extra 30 seconds? Well, it's a pro. I'm trying to get the fan word sponsorship
this time.
40 minutes to read this script. I'm gonna tell you about it.
He was filming his reality show, My Morphin Life. First episode was February 20th, 2014. So when he's pitching this idea, hey, let's all do this free, make zero profit. It's all for the fans. Oh, by the way, also my film crew is going to be there. Probably the exclusive people allowed in to document it. And I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. It's probably going to be the biggest video I've ever posted. And also I can really direct the narrative to say, hey, look, this free event was all, done by Jason David Frank. And what a great guy. These people just showed up because he told them to be there. The narrative of this event was 100% altruistic, I think is definitely a lie because he's asking Walter, he's asking David, Amy, come on to his show for free, which is going to pump up his views.
Bro, this is a reach. This is a reach. Like, oh, it's gonna. Now, I think I did. I showed it earlier. His YouTube channel. One of his most popular ones is with Amy Jo Johnson, and I'm pretty sure he was doing cons with her.
I know people are going to defend it by, oh, he didn't make anything off of that show. He really didn't make much. And at the time when it was brand new, don't you think he really wanted it to blow up and make money? Of course he did. Knowing that information really flips that story 180 degrees and kind of makes JDF not look as great as.
Look, guys, you can say I'm a JDF fan or whatever. You can say whatever you want. But when you go look at his stuff and you go look at his most popular, this is a Transformer. This is him and Amy Jo. This is the 25th anniversary. This is the movie premiere. These are his most popular things. My Morphin Vlog, My Morphin Vlog, My Morphin Vlog. The money you make on this, I ain't gonna get into the money thing, but it ain't life changing. I'll tell you that. It's not life changing. You'll make more money going to a con in a weekend than getting 750K views. And also, it's not guaranteed. The views on YouTube are fickle. They're not guaranteed, guys. So let's get back to this video because we got to bring them up soon.
As they're trying to make him look when they're telling that story. The other thing that I really felt inclined to talk about, because I know there's a lot of people who won't understand this, Frances has stated that, oh, she can turn any ranger, anybody into a huge star if they just did what Jason David Frank did. There are several reasons why this is pretty ridiculous. Number one is Jason David Frank is the longest running, most popular Power Ranger.
All right, now he about to debunk Francis.
History undeniable. I'm not saying he doesn't use any business savvy to do the Comic-Con circuit. Of course he does, and I'm sure that Francis has learned a lot of things over the years working with him. But to say that everyone could be a huge star just like Jason David Frank if they just do what he did is ludicrous. What she was specifically referring to is that Jason David Frank doesn't take guarantees to do performances, but people like Austin St. John do. They take guarantees.
How you doing? Tyrannosaurus.
Now, yeah, they get look that ASJ guarantee probably ain't what it used to be.
For someone who doesn't know, a guarantee is exactly what it sounds like. They want a specific amount of money to come to any event. And this can be done in a number of ways. They want a specific dollar amount just to walk in the door, and then they'll take whatever profit they sell. Or they might have an agreement. I want this much, so I'll make sales. And if I only get to here, you got to pay for the rest. Once again, this is worded as if, oh, Austin St. John is so evil. How could he ever want a guarantee? It's just bad business. It's greedy. It's bad. But it's actually super, super common. And I've worked in
Now, here's the thing with guarantees. And if we got a Comic-Con promoter in there, they'll say like, look, man, your guarantee is too high. We know what you're about. No matter if we promote you from sun up to sundown, you're not going to hit your guarantee. So we're not going to book with you. And there is a Comic-Con owner who watches El Jefe of Power Morphicon. I'm putting you on blast. I don't know if he's going to shine some light on that. But if I'm going to do a con, right? And I say, hey, I'll do your show, but you're going to have to give me $10,000 guarantee. They're going to look at me like I'm stupid. They're going to be like, Henry, you've never did a con before. You have no track record of success. Why would we guarantee you $10,000? I'm like, well, look, I'm on YouTube Live. I got 121 people watching, and I'm gonna charge what Austin St. John charged for the autograph. So it's gonna be $80 for an autograph, $80 for a picture, $150 for the combo. Some goofy shit like that. They're gonna be like, bruh. They're gonna look at that. They're gonna be like, well, they're gonna be like, nah, man, sorry, we can't book with your ass. But what happens is people get burnt. And if you get burnt by like let's just say an ASJ, like, bro, I am never booking with ASJ again. And if we do, it's going to be a lower guarantee.
A concert venue, and we've done other events besides concerts. And I help book events and dealing with these types of deals every day at that time. The guarantee is there, not just for the actors, but it's for the promoter. It's to hold them accountable for organizing the event and advertising it. Let's say someone goes, I want to put on a Comic-Con and I can get these 50 actors and none of them are asking for a guarantee.
Awesome.
I won't promote a freaking
All right, no, this is ridiculous, but
thing because I'll just let their social media do it. Well, they're out in the middle of nowhere. No one knows the event's going on. No one shows up. Well, the promoter doesn't worry because, hey, I'm not losing a single dime. These are the people, they're all getting screwed because they aren't going to make anything because they didn't ask for a guarantee. And her point is that JDF grew a social media presence and he worked super, super hard to build a connection with his fans. And that's why he didn't need a guarantee. But JDF is the biggest famous Power Ranger of all time. It isn't comparable to Gareth Ewan. And if you don't know who Gareth Ewan is, that's my point. No, Gareth, I think you're cool. I like you a lot. And number two is that Jason David Frank really wasn't in a good place lifestyle wise. He had marital problems. He had mental health struggles. The constant feeling of you got to be on Instagram Live or you got to post a story. You got to connect with.
Whoa, is that a constant feeling? I don't know. Or is that a strategy? The person who mentors me is like, you need to post at least 3 pieces of content per day. Can y'all do that? Can you handle that? Can you commit to that? 3 pieces of content per day. I post 1 video per day. I go live 1 to 2 times per week.
With fans all the time. That would drive a lot of people to an unhappy.
And this week I didn't want to go live. I swear to God.
So saying that Austin St. John, if he would just listen.
The last time I saw him at New York Comic Con, he was in a corner, no line, no people. No, people didn't even think he was a celebrity. They would just walk by. I walked by. And let me tell you something.
That's me laughing, guys. I make no mistake. I don't give 2 fucks about ASJ. If he got no line, he got to do it. You know why? Restitution ain't going to pay itself.
I would take him and turn him 100% around. But why? Because I would use the knowledge that Jason taught me, right? But he doesn't deserve that, so I would never do that. But
he'd be more successful, or meaning what? Like he would make more money?
People have the wrong. Look, man, this is a good edited video. You gotta give him credit for that. You may not agree with what this guy says, but the video editing, you cannot be like, no. The video editing is good. The production is good. The sound is good. But what Francis is saying is JDF had a model, and it's easily to duplicate. And if you watch JDF, you can see the model. Hey, I'm gonna go live. Hey, I'm gonna post. Whereas you look at some of these other Rangers, let's just take Austin St. John for an example. The only time he posts is his locations. His whole Instagram, his whole Facebook is just, hey, I'm here. Come give me money. Hey, I'm there. Come give me money. Hey, I got fan work. Come give me money right here. It's no real engagement. If you want the engagement, you got to pay for it.
Impression about success. Success is not measured on the amount of money you have. Success is not measured on how much money you have in their pocket. Success is measured on, are you happy in life? Are you happy at your job? Are you happy in your relationship? Are you happy with who you are? Because if you're not, you need to change it. No one else.
In 2024, ASJ really took some heat. And this is where the hashtag Team JDF group really went all out. Day after day, live streams, talking about how horrible of a person Austin St. John was.
No. How horrible. There were things that ASJ said.
Picking up any dirt they can from people that worked with him or friends of his. Is putting a Hitler quote on a shirt a good idea?
You think Hitler made some valid points?
Of course not.
It's a terrible idea.
Why did he put the clip in the video?
Got the backlash. He's not making the shirts. If you actually watched the whole podcast episode instead of just the 5 minutes at the end, you would see that Austin St. John's a bit of a history buff.
I'm a bit of a history buff.
Oh my God, this is Cope. Don't sweep for him. Don't sweep for him, man.
Honestly, this idea about all these different leaders would make a really great book. Like, talk about, oh, this guy said this and he was a horrible person, but like, you know, what can we learn from that? There are things in history to learn from.
I am Colin Jones. I'm Colin Jones. I am a star.
I'm a star.
If you want to shine like the sun first, you have to burn like it.
If you want to shine like the sun first, you have to burn like it.
Yes!
Wow. I actually love that last quote. Did you just come up with that?
No, it's a famous Hitler quote, Colin.
Hey, this is how you work in a Hitler quote, guys. You like, oh, you think Hitler quotes are bad? All right, let me get you. Let me gotcha.
That could have been fascinating, but I understand that probably in his head he's thinking, yeah, but my fans aren't going to buy a book about history. They'll buy t-shirts though, so I'll sell t-shirts. I understand how he got there, but not a good idea.
Now, this is what every ASJ fan says, guys. I understand what he wants to do, but it's not a good idea. It's not something I would do. This is professional sweeping 101. Brent said the same thing. Same thing. I would never make the shirt, but it's a good idea to educate people about the past. Yeah, man.
Yeah. The other scandal that just really kind of put me over the edge a little bit was this whole, Austin St. John was supporting a sexual predator. Austin St. John shared a video, Jason David Frank's son. He's trying to sell merchandise, trying to make some money, and fans find out that Jacob is a registered sex offender.
Nah, I already knew he was. I just was keeping it in the tuck. I was keeping it in the tuck. When I saw him pop out with Jacob, I was like, this ninja is so desperate to win over Green Ranger fans after he when did he do that? He did that shit after his agent jumped out the window on ASJ. This is why he did that. Because of this. You see how it works? Oh, my agent is happy JDF is gone. What can I do? I need to start changing my image with JDF fans. I need to start taking pictures with his wife, his daughter. I'm going to support his son that he didn't want in the will. Hey, I'm going to support his daughter. I might even clap her cheeks at Ranger Stop. Anyway, mistake that Austin St. John has made is he has endorsed a sex offender. That's right. I hate to say it, but hey. I was looking good in there though, right?
My melanin is dripping today. Lord have mercy, I look good.
Hold on, let's go back. St. John has made is he has endorsed a sex offender. That's right. Now, everyone's going to say he didn't know. Sure. He didn't know his criminal record, but he did. Look. Remember? Now, you got to take this with a grain of salt, right? That Jacob told Scott Zillner about his involvement with a 13-year-old who tricked him or whatever with a fake ID and he giving her weed and smashing. And he was like, oh, I believe the story. So yeah, come on Pensacon. This is according to Brent. Who said he spoke to Scott. So if Scott's aware, you think ASJ ain't aware? Now this came out later. I've cut a video on it. I showed everything. So this is how you know. And shout out to Matthew Egan. Damn, man. Hey, Matthew, if you got that recording, can you send it to me again on Discord, please? The recording ASJ defending his king, defending his agent's statements, defending why he would never stop working with him. Yeah. We keeping the beef going. Right. Yeah, it's us. I'm sure his agent doing this had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with people with JDF fans criticizing them. And Casey, if you're watching, I did send you the link in your email. All right, let's go. Let's keep it going because we're almost done with the video. And he's supposed to come up. I sent him the link already. That's right. I hate to say it, but hey, we gotta let the fans know.
For some reason, when people are trying to spin this as, look how horrible Austin St. John is, it's ridiculous.
This is why I say it's a poorly researched video. It's poorly researched. It's great edited, great clips. It's short. It's pro ASJ, but it's poorly researched. When you talk to me and you know I've been covering this shit for like 2 years almost, and I'm like, oh well, he kind of did know. Like, what do you mean he didn't know? Oh, okay. And you omit the whole I'm glad JDF thing is dead, and you know his half-ass response. He won't even acknowledge JDF. He's like, oh, I'm hurt by people being negative in the community.
I don't hear anybody saying that is JDF's son. Maybe this was like JDF's bad parenting. It's absolutely insane to me. And I was always a massive Jason David Frank fan over Austin St. John. But when I started seeing just the sort of unfair narrative that was being written about him, Austin St. John is so greedy. He's delusional about his popularity. And no one says those things about Walter or Twee. No one says, oh, you know, Steve Cardenas was ludicrous.
Well, we can get to the clip where they were asking for $1 million an episode. And here's the thing. It's like, if you've been with me from day one, you know about the JDF 1 million per episode HenryResilient, right? Oh, gosh. I got to go to my main channel. Like, Jesus. Like, you know about this video. Hold on. I'm about to pull it up. Like, this is where my knowledge shines through. And I believe I got Casey in the background. This is where my knowledge shines through. It's right here. You're like, Henry, how do you be getting this? Like, dude, this is ingrained in me. Now, look, you can say JDF was being facetious. Man, hold on. Give me a second. I got to do it live because I want to speak accurately, right? So we're going to go through the transcript. We're going to search and we're just going to type in million. It's on here 8 times. Look, everyone's like million. Where's it at in the transcript? Oh man, look, there it go. Oh, that's one. I gotta find it where JDF says it or it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. There goes the $1 million per episode. Now, I'm sure y'all going to say it's
with a million other things that I got going on right now. I'm standing outside my house right now and, you know, talking on the phone. It's cold out here in Texas. So, you know, I want to make sure that I do what I have to do, you know, and so, I mean, I kind of lived on those 5 acres.
Hold on.
That my word is gold, and no matter how much money you have, you can't buy your word back. So my word is gold, and my word is, you know, means everything. So if I tell you, okay, I'm going to do your interview at 9 o'clock, and I just blow you out and don't call you back for another 2 days, then I don't feel good about myself. You know, I mean, it's just one of those things. I knew I had the interview. I'm with a million other things that I got going on right now. I'm standing outside my house right now and, you know, talking on the phone. It's cold out here in Texas.
You know? A million other things. Where's the $1 million episode, guys? I got to find it. Oh, God. It's going to drive me crazy. I know it's in here. I just don't know where. All right. Maybe it's right here.
Did, and all those guys did. They want to strike and $1 million an episode. And I had a family to feed. I couldn't do that kind of stuff, you know, but my family, my dad's a trucker.
You see, hey, I had a family to feed. I couldn't be doing that stuff. Here we go. Let's play it again. This was it. Maybe look, Casey's in the background. We're going to ask him about this shit. We're going to ask him.
Never acted like an actor or, you know, and all those guys did. Austin did, and all those guys did. They want to strike. And
he laughed.
You know, and I had a family. I couldn't do that stuff, you know, but my family, my dad's a trucker. And,
you know, guys, I know I've been kicking this back in, but he seems like he's going to be all right. He's laughing. So if he can laugh at me making fun of him, then I think we're going to have a good time. You know, he's not giving me Aaron vibes.
You know, when I was about 15 or 16.
But let's finish up his video. Let's put some respect on his name.
Chris, he had no idea what he was doing. He was trying to get equal pay for everybody on the cast. They always say stuff like, oh, Austin was trying to be a hero. He's delusional. He didn't know his own popularity. He was a moron. Would you ever for a second dare say Twee was delusional? She was an idiot. She didn't know what she was doing.
I said she made a poor decision following Austin St. John. Poor decision following him to the perils of her career. So was Walter. Now, really, if you guys know the story, Walter was their big brains behind it, but everyone gives A straight credit. Brent confirmed that story too, by the way. But yeah, she followed him. And now some people would take it to an extreme and say her following Austin led to her demise.
She was too oblivious about how her popularity. No one would ever say that about it because people love Twee and they respect her. But for some reason,
for the same action.
Now, this guy said respected Twee. He don't know about the boner story. He don't know that Austin St. John was like, yeah, at his memory of her was a boner story. He don't know about this video right here, man. But we gonna blackpill him live, guys. He's gonna watch this shit live. He gonna watch it live.
You will call Austin St. John horrible things. And honestly, it's because of them being so hateful towards Austin St. John that I started to look more into him and started realizing that there's a lot of things about these stories that don't really add up. They'll say things like, ooh, daddy got him that military contract. But did Austin's daddy go around saving people's lives as an EMT?
Now, you aware he never served, right? No, I love how you look. So look, this is how I know he's familiar with the content. Why? People say they're not familiar with the content. They lying. Don't let them lie to you guys.
He was actually at my camp when I was there. He was contracted though. He was not. Yeah, he was at Spiker in Iraq when I was there at 05.
Okay. Now, shout out to my man Shooter Torres, man. I look, thank you for your service.
I'm confused how that's an insult. Saying also things like, oh, he can't act. I mean, have you watched A Walk with Grace?
Look, we saw the wooden actor from A Walk with Grace. Now here's my rebuttal, Casey, since you're watching this and I know you see it. If he's such a good actor, he's so good, why hasn't he been cast in anything since then?
It's the movie he's in. Honestly, I watched it and I'm not.
And he was making fun of a gay person in there too. He's like, you're sashaying with your daughter. I was like, bruh. Casey cut that out. He like, damn, man. He like, Henry really got my ass. Look, man. Look.
You dig, bro.
Saying he's winning an Oscar or anything, but surprisingly, I thought he actually did a pretty good job.
That's an opinion.
For not being really a serious actor his whole life. But I doubt they watch.
I'll play you the clip that's online. There's like one clip.
Yeah, and I had a comment exchange with Francis on a video of Deoxy 360. Again, I'm sorry you
shout out to Deoxy.
Feel put off on any stories I've shared. Jason was human and flawed. He was never perfect. While there might be some negative stories, the positives definitely outweigh the negative. Thank you for taking your time to respectfully answer my comment. Here's my serious question to these people, because
serious question to these people. Just say my name. Man.
Why is this sort of philosophy applied to JDF, but not Austin St. John or other people? Why is it okay to say, well, he was flawed, but you know what? He tried his best and that's all we can do. You know, he's a good guy. Why can't we say that about Austin St. John? I mean,
bro, look, Austin St. John defrauded people. When people with business was going out, Austin St. John defrauded the government, got a loan. Some mom and pop stores probably applied for the same loan, got denied, their business shut down. He's defrauding the government. On top of that, he was putting out how to make money during the pandemic videos. So when you say, why can't we give him grace? Like, bro, you scammed the government. And then on top of that, you were telling people how to make money. Okay. You endorsed your POS agent who was happy JDF was dead. And then after that, went to go take pictures, with the family. And hold on, did the happy you're dead come first or second? I may need to get my timeline correct just so I can speak accurately. But this is why people like me, I give zero grace. I think he's the biggest fraud. I've said it plenty of times and I'll say it again. Who did he get his black belts from? Who did he study under? When you ask him about that, he'd be like, I really don't get into that.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence of him being a pretty decent person and people really liking him. And I'll say, I've talked to someone who worked on the show. He asked me, what I thought about Austin St. John. And I told him, you're very young and made a lot of mistakes, said a lot of things he probably shouldn't. But I think he matured. And when he came back to the show, I think that he showed that he matured quite a bit. And over the years, he's shown a lot of class. And
class. Okay, man.
He told me that on Beast Morphers, he was one of the kindest people. He was nice to everybody on set. He
wanted to get casted again, man. He was in a bind. He was broke, man. He would love to get a Potter movie.
Ego. He was super kind and talked to the young actors. He talked to everybody. It was just such a joy to be on set. So it really leads me to want to ask this question. I want you to answer it honestly. Jason would tell people himself, he would say, I'm flawed. But even after his death, JDF has a message that we all should take to heart.
With the film, one of the narratives is misplaced hate and how that can burn inside of you and turn into something ugly. And then when you fully understand something, you realize that we're not all that different. That's one of the themes that plays in this. So
I'm not asking.
Oh, you keep talking over me, then I can't answer. And why am I here then?
You to be
Aaron is wild.
But I'm asking you to just stop tearing him down because it's not honoring Jason David Frank in any way. And I don't think his family.
When I cover Austin St. John, I'm not trying to honor JDF. I'm covering Power Ranger News. When he pled guilty to PPP fraud, Aaron, I know you back there. I'm letting fans know, hey, this is what happened. All that I'm innocent stuff. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to be exonerated. This stuff right here where he's like, I'm a father. I'm this, I'm that. It's our understanding Austin put his faith and reputation and finances in the hands of other people. No, he didn't. He knew what he was doing. That's why he took the plea deal. So that's why I'm like, nah, man, I ain't letting that shit ride. I ain't letting it ride.
Family. I don't think Jenna or Tammy think that that's like a positive thing.
Bro, I don't care two shits what Jenna and Tammy think. I don't care two shits what a lot of people think. Just because, they related to JDF, Cool. Sorry for their loss, but how they think don't dictate how I move, nor do I seek their approval. So with that said, guys, what do you guys think of Mighty Morphin conspiracy theories? I've said it. I'll stand on my word. Poorly researched hit piece. Some things were definitely omitted that I did share that I transformed his video, but he in the background, we gonna show up. We gonna put some respect on his name. We gonna come out. We gonna have a dialogue. And he was laughing, so he might be cool. But let me know what you think of this video. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Peace.